part of this whole value aspect is taking into consideration your whole value, not just the external things and not just the internal things, not just the things that affect others or the things that affect you, but to really come out of this with hope that there's things that you can do to make yourself more aware of your value, to have other people recognize that you have value, and to go through this whole journey of figuring out how to make the next step. Hello, my name is Joshua, and I want to talk to you today about 8 different areas of our life. These are more external areas that things that are involved in our life that also bring us value. This video is a whole lot more practical. It's gonna give a little thought process along with every area that I describe, and as I go through each area, I want you to, if any of them are like, oh, I would really like to improve in this area, just take a moment, stop, pause the video, do the exercise, do 1 or 2 of these exercises. Don't take on too much of this thought exercise to really overwhelm you. One of the things that I really want to value in my channel and to really come across strong is the idea that there is hope. There is a way that you can get from where you are to somewhere better. That as you improve your awareness, your thought process, your mind, your outlook on life, that you will get to a better place. And that's possible for you. That you don't have to stay where you're at. And so a lot of times when we look at long lists, 8 steps to this or 5 steps or whatever it is to get somewhere, a lot of times there's this underlying tone that comes across that I can't do that. I don't know where to start. I don't know if I have to get too many things before I get to the place where I can actually even start on step 1. And so that's where I want to come in strong with these videos of saying this is one thing that you can do, one small little step in one of these areas that you can do right as you're watching this video that will make a difference. It may not be life-changing difference. It may not bring you to a completely new place immediately as you're watching this video, but as we've learned through a lot of areas in our life, especially through our health and exercise and doing things that's where we'll start with is health and fitness, is that you go to the gym and you exercise and you put in a lot of effort and it's hard at the beginning and you really don't see any change for weeks or even months but keeping that consistency and going to the gym really brings you that awareness of that value. And so in the same way, taking these thought exercises and doing 1 of them or 2 of them and seeing what comes out of it is a great step to increasing your value and to becoming more aware of what your internal world is like, as well as to describe some of the external world and to kind of bring the 2 worlds together. The first area that I want to talk about is health and fitness. This area focuses on physical well-being, including exercise and nutrition, sleeping, and the overall physical health about maintaining a strong body, managing energy levels to lead an active and fulfilling life. And so for this particular area, the thought exercise that I want to give you is to take a few moments and do a mental scan of your body. Notice any areas of tension or discomfort. Ask yourself, what does my body need right now to feel stronger or more balanced? This could lead to a specific workout, more hydration, stretching. Tune into your body signals and see what it tells you. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I really want this to be an idea of hope, that you can start somewhere. There is a lot of more areas that you can do, especially in the world of exercise and becoming more fit. And some people really find value in that. They find their identity in that. And I know Alex Hormozi, that's a big part of who he is that he exercises regularly and that he's a really big buff guy and that's part of his world. But just as we go through all of these areas, and even for him, it's a part of his world, but it doesn't make up his whole identity. And so if you were to engage with people that is that whole identity, you always have a very one-dimensional aspect of life. And part of this whole value aspect is taking into consideration your whole value, not just the external things and not just the internal things, not just the things that affect others or the things that affect you, but to really come out of this with hope that there's things that you can do to make yourself more aware of your value, to have other people recognize that you have value, and to go through this whole journey of figuring out how to make the next step. The second area that I wanted to talk about is personal and spiritual growth. This area encompasses your inner development, both mentally and spiritually. It involves self-awareness, learning new things, personal reflection, meditation, or following a spiritual path that provides meaning and purpose to your life. The thought exercise for this value is reflect on your core values by asking yourself, what are the 3 most important principles that guide my decisions? Write them down, then think about recent situations where you aligned or maybe didn't align with those values. This will prompt you to a deeper awareness of how your values shape your actions, and also prompt you to recognize where those areas that you may be like, I really value this, but my life doesn't reflect that. And you can kind of merge the 2 worlds of what's your internal value versus what's your external value, and being like, I really value, let's say it's the first one, and you really value exercise and you really value health and really value that, and then your action is, well, how does that affect what you do? Are you actively at the gym and working out? That's just an example, but in every area, to actually sit down and recognize your values versus how they realign to life will become more clear. The third category, friends and family. This area revolves around relationships that you have with people close to you, your family members and friends. It involves nurturing these bonds, communicating effectively, offering support, and maintaining meaningful connection. The thought exercise for this particular area is think about 3 people in your close circle, family or friends. Visualize each person and recall a specific memory with them, and then reflect and be grateful for that experience. This keeps your relationships active and nurtured because you are reflecting and being grateful for what's going on. You're taking the experiences that you have with others and bringing them into your internal value and saying, oh, I really value this and this really means something to me. This is really a helpful exercise and really helpful to really recognize those people around you and how there is really strengths and things that they offer and bring to your life. In this area, as well as your personal relationships with spouses, which is the one that we're going to talk about next, a lot of your value does come from how you interact with them, the things you do for them, and how they receive them. And so this area isn't something that is very easy to recognize where your internal and external values really cross over because they are so intertwined. The more active you are with your partner, the more listening, the more caring, the more compassionate, kind, loving you are, the more that they will see you as a valuable person. And those 2 things, even though they're very separate, one could be true and the other one isn't, they are generally connected. Somebody could be very kind and compassionate and it couldn't be received that way. And in another situation, they could be really antagonistic and the other person doesn't see it either and they see them as kind. So it's not that you want to separate the 2 completely, but recognize that in most situations when you are presenting yourself in a kind way, in an approachable way, when you're spending time listening to your partner or family and friends, that they are going to in return think of you in a better way. There was a study that was done where they took a whole group of high school students and they did a whole test to figure out what was the criteria that made it so that different high school students were liked and others weren't. And the one trend that came through on all of the students is that the students that had more people that they liked were the ones that were the most popular ones. The ones that they turned around and looked and said, oh, I know this person and that person, that person. The person that said, I like more people, the more people that they liked, the higher they ranked on the popularity of everyone else. And so this is one of the examples of how these 2 worlds are intertwined. The more that you listen, the more that you engage with somebody, the more that you like them, the more that they will like you as well. The fourth area that I want to talk about is romantic relationships. This area refers to your intimate relationships, especially if you have a partner or a spouse. It involves emotional connection, mutual support, love, and shared commitment to each other is happiness. The thought exercise is what I call an empathy walk. Mentally walk through your partner's day from their perspective. Ask yourself, what is it that they are likely feeling or experiencing right now? This will help you cultivate empathy and awareness of your partner's needs and can lead to a more supportive and thoughtful action. I already have really talked about this in the previous section of Friends. This is just another exercise that really targets that relationship with somebody that you have, that you live with, that you're actively involved in their life on a day-to-day basis. I decided to break this video up into two parts. The first four are in this video that you just watched. I hope that they brought you benefit and that you were able to take some of those practical things and apply them to yourselves. In the next video, we will cover the second four and hope those will also help you. Thank you for watching this far, and catch you on the next video.